NBA players don't often see eye to eye with the media, but that raises the question, who had the worst bust-up with a reporter? One striking incident was the recent infamous altercation between LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith. What started as a quick exchange caught briefly on camera has now erupted into a huge media frenzy. It all started back in February 2022 when LeBron said, "If you want me, draft Bronny. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year. It's not about money at that point." Subsequently, in May 2023, LeBron tweeted, "Man, Bronny definitely better than some of the cats I've been watching on League Pass today. Shit lightweight hilarious." Bronny was eventually drafted to the Lakers in June 2024 and made history with LeBron as the first father and son duo to share the court. However, things took a downturn when Bronny logged his first rotation minutes during the Lakers' loss to the 76ers in January this year, going 0 for 5 without scoring, which elicited a strong reaction from Stephen A. Smith.
He has played 44 minutes. He has scored 4 points. He is shooting 1 of 16 from the field, 0 for 7 from three-point range. How are you doing him favors? We know that he's not ready yet.
Although LeBron initially remained silent, the tension escalated during the Lakers vs. Knicks game in March 2025 when a viral clip emerged of him confronting Stephen A. Smith courtside, a moment that went viral all over mainstream media. In the aftermath, Stephen was at the Gills Arena show and was asked about the incident.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. Apparently, LeBron had walked out of the timeout, and I turned around, and he's right here in my face. He said, "Yo, you got to stop talking shit about my son. You got to stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Nah, fuck that." I said, "Yo, let's talk later." He's like, "Fuck that. Nah, fuck that. You got to stop fucking with my son." And I said, "All right, though." And he walked off.
The incident also sparked reactions from LeBron's former teammates Dwayne Wade.
You know, it's dual sides once again. You know, I think you understand both sides if you're that person who wants to understand both sides. I told him, as a father, I'm walking up on you.
Right.
I get it, because I'm like that too. Like I'm at you.
Of course.
But also, you know what I told him, I said, and I think we've never seen LeBron do that. Like, even we've never seen, like, LeBron don't even go back at players that foul him too hard on the court. We've never seen him be, like, he's always been just even keel and level headed in every aspect. And sometimes you want him to jump. Sometimes you want him to go, and he won't. And so to watch the clip and watch him on that bench and see Stephen A. over there, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it.
I mean,
he could not stand it.
They got the memo. Yo, Stephen A. coming tonight. He coming tonight.
While LeBron initially refrained from reacting on social media, he eventually broke his silence during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show.
I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
It went viral. You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, it's, and like another, he completely like missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household, but protect the players.
Which led to Stephen A. responding once again.
My check. Bronny James is a professional basketball player. LeBron James went on national television yesterday and lied. He said that I have no problem with you talking about the game. What did I say about Bronny James other than at the time he wasn't ready? That was it. I said nothing else.
LeBron also posted a video on Instagram of Stephen A. mocking his boxing technique, to which Stephen A. replied, saying,
"That's how petty you've become? You're LeBron James, you that butthurt over the things that I'm saying, that you would post that video? When has LeBron James ever done something like that? But suddenly you're doing that as it pertains to me. This man is in his feelings. I wonder why. Could it be because I don't believe you're the GOAT?
Fans was also ablaze with opinions on all sides, with a user commenting, Stephen A. completely missing the point, just like LeBron said. What did I say other than Bronny not being ready? Well, you did plead to Bron as a father to stop it, basically implying he was being a bad father and telling him how to handle it. That's not your job as a sports analyst. Whilst another user stated, Stephen A. is telling the truth though, never talked about Bronny, just stated the facts. We all know he is not ready. So what is the problem? Did LeBron want all of the analysis to praise Bronny when he has been underperforming? And it's LeBron who put his son on the spotlight despite being a second-round pick. No one would even be talking about Bronny if LeBron didn't say all the BS he said about him. Should have let the kid be himself. Regardless, this has to go down as one of the biggest NBA star and reporter bust-ups of all time. Next, we have Kyrie Irving, who has had his fair share of run-ins with the media. Take, for instance, this infamous moment from 2022 when he was accused of sharing a link to a documentary on social media containing anti-Semitic material, which led to a pretty heated moment in a presser.
Follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of
putting it out there,
the
people
title?
are going to say that you are
Yeah, I put
promoting.
it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it's not
you put
stuff,
things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is
So
not
let's move on.
filled
Let's
with
move on.
anti-Semitic
Let's
stuff.
move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
Irving's post received massive backlash, with the Nets ultimately suspending him for at least 5 games, and Nike terminating their partnership with him. Subsequently, Kyrie issued a more detailed apology on social media, stating, "To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti-Semitic, instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand, fighting against anti-Semitism, by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agreed with and disagreed with." This led to widespread reaction from prominent figures, with LeBron tweeting, "I told you guys that I don't believe in sharing hurtful information, and I'll continue to be that way, but Kyrie apologized and he should be able to play. That's what I think. It's that simple. Help him learn, but he should be playing." The public, however, had a more vehement response stating, "Anyone who thinks Kyrie wrote that Instagram apology believes in fairies. An apology doesn't mean much when you're forced into it." While Kyrie's conflict with the media centered around a social media post, Joel Embiid's altercation took on a more physical nature. In early November 2024, Embiid got into a physical altercation with a reporter in the 76ers locker room after their loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. This stemmed from an article written about a week prior by a journalist named Marcus Hayes, in which he questioned Embiid's intentions to play and his injury status. He wrote, "Joel Embiid consistently points to the birth of his son, Arthur, as the major inflection point in his basketball career. He often says that he wants to be great, to leave a legacy for the boy, named after his little brother, who tragically died in an automobile accident when Embiid was in his first year as a 76er. Well, in order to be great at your job, you first have to show up for work. Embiid has been great at just the opposite. Now, in his 11th season, he consistently has been in poor condition. This poor conditioning apparently seems to have delayed his debut this season. Embiid won't play in Wednesday's opener or the next 2 games." This prompted a response from Embiid as he lashed out at the media for doubting his commitment to playing and questioning his injury.
And I've done it. From what I can tell you, I've broken my face twice. I came back early with the risk of losing my vision. Had broken fingers. I still came back.
However, it was the comment from Marcus Hayes which pushed Embiid over the edge.
When I see people saying he doesn't want to play, I've been way too much. I've done way too much, for this city, and putting myself at risk, for people to be saying that. So I do think it's bullshit. Like that dude, he's not here, Marcus, whatever his name is. I've done way too much for this city.
But it wasn't until the aftermath that things became physical. According to an article, as reporters entered the locker room to talk to players, Embiid stood and confronted Hayes. The next time you bring up my dead brother and my son again, you are going to see what I'm going to do to you, and I'm going to have to live with the consequences. Embiid continued, with several instances of profanity. Hayes offered an apology, which Embiid did not want. Embiid later said he doesn't care what reporters say. But you do, Hayes answered. Embiid appeared to raise his voice at that point, and not long afterward pushed Hayes on the shoulder while the team's public relations chief got between them. This incident prompted a widespread reaction across the media, with Stephen A. Smith sharing his thoughts.
Marcus Hayes was wrong. Now, that doesn't absolve Embiid. Embiid was wrong, too. You don't put your hands on anybody. You don't engage in physical violence. You just don't do that. Marcus Hayes, and I've read numerous columns that he's written on Embiid over the last several months, has every right to say what he said about Embiid, questioning his conditioning, questioning why the hell would you go and play for Team USA when you know you've missed so much action for the Philadelphia 76ers. Marcus Hayes has every right to write that and every right to say that. What you don't do, however, is bring up his brother who's deceased and the fact that the inflection point that you referred to involved Embiid's son, who he named after his late brother. That's pretty damn low.
Fans also tweeted their thoughts saying, "Oh boy, people will remember the Sixers season for all the wrong reasons. The team just dropped to 1-4, and Joel Embiid assaulted a reporter in the locker room. How did the Sixers even let that dude into the locker room? Talking about your superstar's dead brother should just be a blacklist from the building," which ultimately highlights how intense and dangerously personal a feud between an NBA player and reporter can become.